To the Ahn Rho Project. You can see it's a big mess here. It's a psychiatric self-therapeutic multimedia project for me to solve the problems challenges my life as a self-improvement process for me to reach the heights, goals, and ambitions set for myself. If you'd like a better introduction, a longer summary as to what we do, how we break it down into sub-series, analogies, subdomains of life, and all that kind of jazz, including the copyright-free music and including the live stream schedule, all that stuff can be found in previous live streams with summaries, of course, for the past 3.5 years straight to January 2021. Without further ado, let's just dive into the second phase of this live stream. Long stream. This whole stream is only about 14 minutes long as usual. It might be actually a lot shorter this time today, so it might be only 10 minutes. But the point is, let's cover the table of contents, right? What I want to do to it today, there won't be any photography. There's no kind of food or diet or nutrition or anything like that. No commentating on that kind of stuff. So that kind of phase is, a write-off for today. Same thing with logistics. I don't think I have to cover too much stuff about logistical affairs. I don't have to get up around the room and move around, be really too active. If you take a look at region D7, A7 and A8 right here, you see a lot of junk food packaging. Basically, all I have to mention is that I binge ate yesterday coming back from work because, we had a late order and stuff like that, and I wanted to get some stuff done for someone who really means quite a lot to me. But overall, that's actually what we want to talk about here, about that particular person or just a variety of relationship issues at the workplace, which is really unfortunately played into my personal affairs in the past. So domestic issues. And so with that being said, what I want to do today is just have pretty much the majority of today's blurb is going to be about employment, relationships, mindset, some sort of psychoanalytical and behavioral coverage about what I should be like and how I should act going forward from this. Based off of the particular stage of development in terms of the relationship right now. And so, or at least just based off of my current analysis, I know that it's going to be missing a lot of elements and that my judgment may be off, but that's fine. I don't want to get too, I don't want to become too self-conscious. It's not very helpful to have that much self-awareness. Sometimes you just need to act and do. So that's the majority of the stream, really. And we also want to touch upon a little bit about a method that I use to basically have 6 different types of audio. I just recognize now that can be playing, that can be on standby. I can put 5 on standby and just have 1 playing. But I can easily or 2 really, because I have 2 devices on when I'm at the workplace. So I could play a podcast and music, or I could just have ambient some background noise and nothing while I record. So there's any combination of 2 I can have because I have 2 devices on. I plan on adding a third, which is a dictation device. I've mentioned that in the past. But the fact is, because they are phones, the current devices I'm using, we'll get to that. Basically, I can have like 6 different things on at the same time. Not the same time, but on standby, so I can easily switch them from one to the other with just a few touches on the screen. And we'll get to that in a second. So without further ado, quick disclaimer, of course we will cover thing. We are going to try to be real, raw, and genuine as usual, which means I cover the good, bad, and ugly. I'm not going to shy away from non-PC topics. So just a quick disclaimer, this is like a time record in a sense. At least one part of the Ahn Rho Project is a time record. So okay, let's get into it. So first things first, so I was at my workplace, and for the second day since working overtime, and that was it went really well. I have to say that yesterday didn't go as well, but whatever, it's still an improvement. The fact that someone at the workplace who, again, I cherish really much, and I took it too personally, unfortunately, because of a lot of domestic issues. I've never really had a role model in my life, and this is the first time stepping inside this company. There are just people who are just kind of living embodiments of things of imaginary figures I used to have when I was growing up, ever since as like a tyke little toddler straight up till till even as a young adult, I've never really had a role model like this, like any role models. I also had to, in fact, fight against anti-role models, basically people who would gamble, become addicts, scream, shout, kick, beat, and stuff like that. And that was basically my own blood. I can't even say their family; they're my own blood. And so, unfortunately, which by the way has been largely resolved, not completely, but the fact is, this played out really badly, right? And so, in the workplace, unfortunately, I wasn't able to separate. Like in all the previous jobs and clients, I've always been able to do this, but unfortunately, here the personal stuff got mixed in with the business affairs. So it just is stupid because you're not supposed to mix personal and business, personal or employment, but that's what happened. And overall, it dragged down. I ended up being a very big, fat, fucking annoying pest to a lot of my colleagues. Now, particularly to, let's say, JM here, and I guess maybe it's because I expanded a little bit on my story a little bit in my letter of resignation. I'm not sure what it was, but for some reason he's been a little bit more open. And maybe it's because I've been changing, and that's great and all. But what's clear to me is I haven't been changing enough, because yesterday it didn't go as well as I would have liked, and I wasn't even trying to make things better. Maybe that's part of it, because I just didn't try to make things that much better. Or maybe I think what it was, and that's what I want to talk about in this particular live stream, this particular short story here, a lot of storytelling, right, is basically I was trying too hard. Even though I wasn't trying very much at all, I was still trying too much. I noticed that I was still making an attempt to get along with him, which is stupid. It's easier for you to get along with someone when you don't put so much effort. You're putting too much conscious effort into something, and that just makes things worse. People, especially if they're trying to get along with you and they already have acknowledged you as someone who they trust, there's no need for you to constantly prove to them that you're trustworthy. If anything, that just makes you seem defensive or anxious or whatever it is that's going on. Whether it's real or just not real but perceived as such, the fact is it doesn't help, and it makes things worse. And so it's not just JM but also EL. So both of these are incredible people. EL is the guy who actually brought me into the company. Again, he's like the camaraderie between him and the guys downstairs, and previously me and him and the rest of the guys, not anymore. But the fact is, between me and JM and EL, I've managed to pretty much sour the relations completely, and that's fine, because I've always enjoyed being able to distance myself from people. That's kind of the approach I've always taken to life, is that I can't trust anybody. I recognize now that I'm in a very special situation right now where I do have people around me who I can trust, and because of my survival instinct that kicks on like an obsession with independence, I just never turn off the switch. I understand that they're trustworthy people, that I'm lucky and fortunate enough to be around these trustworthy people today, in this day, in the environment that I'm in, but I'm not able to change my behavior. And little catch on that, right? Because I say I'm not able to, but that's what I'm trying to work towards. I'm trying to dismantle it just a little bit, to be able to accommodate for situations like this where I can trust people. And so if I really trust JM and EL, the first thing I should do is just, I want to touch on this, is basically stop focusing so much. So that's what's on the task list on the side, right? The left hand side panel, we have a little summary. I haven't done this in a while, maybe like 3-4 weeks now. I stopped including the Dropbox panel of the task list because I largely have stopped updating it. But recently I've tried to get back into it, and just for the most important things on occasion. And so right here, what we have on the side, on the very bottom left hand side, which is probably blocked up a little bit, is basically when it comes to relations, just don't try it so much. People get annoyed, and I would get annoyed if someone kept coming to me, and that's happened, and that continues to happen in the workplace. Because in the same way that I keep trying to get along with Jay and keep trying to get along with EL, some people keep trying to get along with me, and it gets annoying, right? It gets annoying. I just don't even want to look at it. So I know how it feels like, but my understanding of how it feels like doesn't change the fact that I still also act the same way to other people, which is stupid, because the hypocrisy in that, or the contradiction, is I'm running afoul. I'm being the thing I so condemn. So stop it. Stop trying. And so that's the next step here. Over the weekend, yeah, I tried to think and get along and stuff like that, but I'm gonna dial it back. And it's not just today. I should dial it back yesterday, but I should have been dialing it back. Like, I should have maintained that. I should just maintain. Stop caring. Stop. Who cares? Don't focus so much attention on JM or EL. Just stop it. They don't enjoy that. Nobody does. You don't enjoy that yourself. So just go and get shit done. And if it comes to the attention that you guys have anything you really need to urgently talk to each other about, then go for it. If you don't, then don't. It's that simple. And that'll make things better. And at the end of the day, another thing that I've noticed, I also mentioned on the left-hand side panel, one of the things is also, why am I putting so much focus on these two? I notice, yeah, I know why I'm focusing so much on it, but stop it, because at the end of the day, they're just two people out of the entire department of like 25 other people. They're not even in my department. Why the hell do I give a damn? I mean, I'm oversimplifying it. Obviously, there are reasons why I do care, but still, the point is, you're really blowing this out of proportion. It's just two people in a company of like 50. Like, what the fuck's wrong with you? Everyone else who I actually work with actually enjoys my company. They make candid and open, honest, dialogue with me. They enjoy and want to be with me, and I could never have accepted that before, but I really should just accept it now if I really want to better myself and my relations with JM and EL. Is just to stop focusing on them. Stop. That's annoying. That's annoying for them, just like it's annoying for me when someone else does to me. So that's that. Okay, so with that being said, we're gonna pass it off because this live stream's on them, right? So stop talking about them. Okay, let's move on. So the tech thing, right? Having a phone, two phones, two devices right now, each one with, I have like one that's like a music like amplifier or something like that. And then that's one app. Another app is the actually innate app for like say Android or Samsung or Google. That's a music player. And then there's another one as well that's like Google Play. So all those, one phone might have 3 different apps, and I could put the same playlist and sync them all up all together. Then I can have 3 playlists ready to go at the same time. One for podcasts, one for music, one for just ambient music. And sometimes I just might not even play anything at all. But the fact is, to have them all ready, I can easily flick from each one to the other, from a podcast to music to rock music to like some really passive kind of like classical music, jazzy, whatever it is that is suitable for the moment. Maybe I'm doing an auto recording even. I might be working the project as I'm working. So all that kind of stuff, being able to kind of juggle between these different aspects by taking advantage of multiple apps at the same time is a feature that I haven't been consciously I haven't been noting for a while. So now I've typed it up, I put it up on Dropbox, and I'm talking about it on stream right now. So that's a problem and a solution, and that's great. That's good stuff. So with that being said, this is the Ahn Rho Project, and I think I have about a minute. That's pretty good. So today we didn't really do anything in terms of, I have some garbage you can throw away, like banana peels. Like I said, also all the binge eating food I gotta throw away. Anyways, move on to the side. Maybe keep some of the packaging for tomorrow's dinner, but that's about it. So there's a take-home message now. Take care of your health, your finances. The last phase, right? The last segment of this stream. Take care of your health, your finances, yourself. Make sure you become a strong, disciplined, responsible individual. Hope this, and I'm not trying to preach. Just hope you share this understanding with me that you can't really help or take care of anyone you really care for unless you can stand on your own 2 feet. The best thing you can do for the people who care about you is to make sure that you can take care of your own self first, and then you have something of value to contribute to other people's lives, to individuals and society as a general. So that being said, I hope to see a better version of you as well as myself in the next live stream tomorrow morning. This is Ahn Rho signing out. My dear hypothetical imaginary viewers, I haven't said that in a while. I hope to see you then. Ciao.